Hey folks, it's the Ukulele Doctor. I'm coming at you today with another little tutorial aimed at those who are looking to build their skills in playing jazz and blues chords on the ukulele. And today we're going to be talking about some major seventh chords. And just as a reminder, a major seventh chord is what you get when you take a major third interval, that's 4 half steps, and you put it on top of a regular major chord. So the pattern for a major seventh chord ends up being a major third with a minor third on top of that, that's 3 half steps, and another major third on top of that. And if we build that chord on the root of C natural, what we get is C natural, E natural, G natural, and B natural. And C major seventh sounds like this. And major seventh chords certainly aren't exclusive to jazz or blues, but you do see them with more regularity in these genres, and in particular, you often see jazz songs that include more than one different type of major seventh within the same song. So it really does pay to gain some mastery over these chords. However, there are 12 different major sevenths, so there can be a lot of memorization involved. But I'm going to teach you a simple strategy in order to minimize the amount of memorization that you have to do of different finger placements. And basically the idea is that you want to identify patterns of finger placement that allow you to play a certain type of chord, like a major seventh, but that can be moved up or down the fretboard so that you can build the same type of chord on different root notes. And then for each of these types of chords, your goal should be to learn at least 2 or 3 different patterns that allow you to play the same type of chord in different places. That way there's going to be some overlap between the different patterns, which is going to give you options and allow you to play the same chord in different places based on what's easiest for you and what sounds best within a particular song and even within a particular line of a song. Sometimes I do play the same chord in different places within the same song depending on what moves most smoothly. So today we're going to be talking about one of the simplest patterns that allows us to play a major seventh, and it's a pattern that starts with B natural major seventh, and it's just a diagonal across the fretboard. So you take your first finger and put it on the first string on the first fret, your second finger on the second string on the second fret, your third finger on the third string on the third fret, and your fourth finger on the fourth string on the fourth fret. So B natural major seventh sounds like this. We can take that pattern and move it down a half step in order to get B flat major seventh. And of course we can move the pattern up in order to get C major seventh, D flat major seventh, D major seventh, E flat major seventh, and so on. And of course at some point you're so far up the fretboard that the sounds start to get a little tinny and the chord no longer fits well within the other chords that are lower, but this pattern allows you to get at least half a dozen or so of these major seventh chords and provides quite a bit of overlap with some of the other patterns for major sevenths that I'll be reviewing in future videos. And before we close, I'm just going to briefly play you a passage from the bridge of Irving Berlin's Blue Skies that really highlights this B flat major seventh, which I play using this pattern. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy.